We all have our individual ways to approach belief in the supernatural, including non-belief. Yes, all are valid. When we hold space for one another's beliefs, we cultivate our compassion and affirm our shared humanity. Then we can be safe. Then we can be free. This is Free to Believe with Eniola Who. The first day I met Dammy was for this Free to Believe chat where I got a super chill vibe from him. Dammy's cool-headed nature is the perfect antithesis to the craziness of Lagos. The next time I met him, he was heading a rock concert at Silverbird, Lagos. When I asked Dammy to describe his beliefs, he said, "I'm irreligious, ever so unassumingly." The more we spoke, I realized that Dammy lives his life being present and being kind, and that's good enough for him. I'm so glad to have met Dammy Lawal. Hear him speak about his spiritual worldview. Hi everyone, my name is Eniola Who, and you're welcome to a new episode of Free to Believe. Today I have here with me Dammy Lawal. Dammy, can you just tell us a little about yourself? Tell us what you believe, and just tell us about who you are and what you believe.
So I am Dammy Lawal. I think I'm irreligious. I don't believe in God, and I'm a filmmaker and general creative.
Okay. So Dammy, tell me how you got into being irreligious, because Nigeria is a very religious country. Did you grow up like that, or did you convert?
No, I grew up a Muslim.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in a Muslim home.
Oh, wow.
A serious Muslim home.
Wow.
So it was earlier this year. I started questioning things. I've been questioning things all along,
okay.
But I kind of took a step further this time.
Okay. Wow.
I needed to I needed to answer a lot of things instead of sitting back and being okay with what I know. So it started from thinking about people around me. I had Christians around me. I had I had atheists around me. Even though we never really spoke about religion, but I always saw the differences. I was always a me against you, or at best, I just accept you.
Wow.
But then we can't. Yeah, we tolerate each other. We can't we can just be friends. We can't having a relationship with someone outside religion. There's this distance, and minus that, you realize that everybody believes his own religion is what takes him to heaven and all that. And I'm looking like all this bunch of cool people, all they do is spread love and positivity. So are these guys going to go to hell? So growing up, I believed Islam was the truth.
Right.
I understood the chronological.
I was raised that way too for Christianity.
Exactly. Yeah. So the Abrahamic religions, there's this way it follows each other. It starts from Abraham down to Moses that brought the law. From Moses was Jesus.
Yeah.
So people were falling off. The new person that God sent. Some people don't believe. Exactly. People that believe are the new one. So that was the same way Islam was for me. So to me, it was the new truth that most Christians didn't just want to accept. You understand? So from there, and my own part of Islam was Ahmadiyya, another subsect.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so they're actually huge around the world, it's worldwide.
Wow. So is it like the way you have Sunni, Shiite, or Ahmadiyya is something else?
Ahmadiyya is something else. Ahmadiyya believe that Jesus has come again, the Messiah is back. Yeah, so I grew up on that.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I grew up on that, and so there's always this, and basically when you talk about religion, when you talk about Islam, we always have this debate with Muslims, other Muslims, and so Ahmadiyya was the one that had this more. It had this more explanation, it had more human explanation to it.
Wow.
So for me, I came from there. So chronologically, it only made sense that this is the latest new person.
I see.
Even if Jesus comes again, who is he going to be? He's just going to be a man, right? So if he says, "I'm this person," how would you know if he's wrong or right? So for me, plus the evidence they presented, it made total sense. So, but then, even though I saw so many things that didn't make sense, I still believed it was the truth. So seeing Christianity, I already saw it it was easy to spot out the flaws in Christianity from a Muslim, but I never looked at Islam that way. So when I started reading about it, so even when I looked into Christianity, I was looking for what Islam borrowed from Christianity. The same messages they borrow.
Yeah,
because I already know Christianity was wrong. Like, you understand?
Yeah.
I came from there because I really wanted to know the truth.
Yeah.
And when I started saying Jesus came, he died for like all those, they were just ideologies to me. It didn't make sense. But I really didn't look at Islam that way. So basically, when I looked into the things that Islam and Christianity shared, those stories, then I looked at the stories, then I started seeing that those stories were not real. They were like myth, folk tales. The story of Moses. Moses was never real. Like how he conquered Pharaoh and the Red Sea. The only Pharaoh that is alive now was mummified, and there's a historical thing how he was or how he got where he is. There was no Moses in the whole story. So you understand, like, so all these things started breaking everything for me. So and I can't see all that and come back to like, oh, this thing is real. So I was depressed. I was always depressed, but I was very sad.
Very sad.
So I started asking more questions, started following logic and evidence and data. Then I started understanding more about the mind and the body. I started looking more into Buddhism, those mystics. So I was like more open-minded. Like, so I was just like in search for knowledge. Like, okay, like, so if all these things are true. So, but before I dropped religion, the funny thing is, I had this thing. I was like, you know, like for me, like for my, like, instead of going deep into all that, like from my immediate environment, I see people in religion. I see religious people. I see how terrible they could be. I see the good side too, because I would say I was good to them. But then, like, I saw the bad side. Like, even the good side, like, there's this hierarchy that religion has. Like, one person is more spiritual than the other. You have to do this. You have to obey this. If there's someone that's more spiritual, the way everybody would follow, like, so it never really made sense to me. But then I just did ones I could do. Prayer was always hard.
Did you do Ramadan?
I always did Ramadan. Because I was always scared. There's this fear that religion brings, like hellfire, heaven.
If you don't do this,
the blessings, exactly.
So now, when you were growing up, so you said you did Ramadan. You know, you were practicing Muslim. That was like, I'm assuming that your childhood was like a typical Muslim child's life. You go to mosque, you learn Arabic. So what's your life like right now? Like, what do you do? Like, what's your spirituality like? What do you do? Do you just, like, on Friday, like today's Friday, what are you going to do?
So I literally don't do anything. I just pay more attention to people around me. And, you know, it's more rewarding. It's more like principle of cause and effect. So the more you talk to people, and now I'm more of people, you know, like I just tend to talk more to people, like lend perspective to them, like see things from this angle. Don't know, like, how's your life like? Like, you know, like a lot of people don't understand mental awareness. Once something happens to you, they tell you to pray. So I try to pay more attention to people and try, but then a lot of people don't. They don't understand. I took a bus, and while in the bus, the conductor was like, it was a little bit harsh, and you know, like normally my immediate response was supposed to be like flare back or fight back or something. And you know, I just realized that this dude has probably been on the road for like hours. He has met like loads of people. So like whatever he's feeling right now, built up from dealing with a lot of people. So am I going to take all that and let it affect me too and be so like I realized that sorry.
No, it's okay. Continue.
So I realized that makes no sense. So because I know that, I replied him nicely. And I just said something nice to him, and then he just calmed down. And later on, he came back to apologize, like, bro, so virtue. And you know, we just talked, and that was it. It is so practical that people can, like, if people live like that, I think we'll have a better place. So, like, and it just comes from understanding and trying to follow, instead of, oh, it's my God or it's my religion.
Or this one, the devil is using
exactly,
it today. So oh my God. Okay, obviously that touched me a lot. Now, would you say that you become more empathetic, more compassionate, more present, aware?
Definitely.
When you dropped religion, which is really interesting. So now, what do you enjoy most about being religious?
I think it's the empathy part. Understanding. When you come from a place of understanding, you would try to find balance between things.
What I want to know is, yes, you enjoy the empathy and all that, but again, you're living in a very Abrahamic society, very judgmental. Is that the most difficult part for you, or what other difficulties do you face being religious?
I think the difficult part is basically how we live our lives. That's what like gets me. Like normally I'll just choose my path and not say anything, and nobody would even know who I do. I probably lie about it, but I realize I won't be solving any problem. Like half of the problems we had is based on us being human beings and what informs us. And the most thing that informs us is religion. And from this same religion is what I'm saying as we've been misinformed. Yeah. You understand? So it's almost like, so apparently when you try to like talk to people, or people act to someone because of their religious views a certain way.
It separated us.
Yes,
right?
it's like once we came to like to being like as a baby, you have no religion, you have nothing. We're all just humans.
That's powerful.
So
say that again, please.
So like once we come into being, once we're kids,
you have no religion.
You have no religion. You're just a person.
So you, even though you're irreligious, you don't see separation between you and other religious people. No. You don't. In fact, like you feel more connected to people based on your belief.
Yes, I do, because I understand that everybody is a product of the environment. So wherever, like, and that's where consciousness comes into play. Like everything we've known has been ingrained, has been taught to us. So for us, it's a fact. So that's why everybody comes with, it's my truth, it's my truth. Yeah. Like there can be only so many truths. I can understand, but we have a universal truth. Yeah. And if everybody is holding on to our truth, that's like bringing more differences than.
I agree.
So we have to be conscious of every thought or every action. Like, okay, where does this come from? Why is this culture? That's why some cultures too, like we need to ask like, why is this thing the way it is? Then when we can have logical answers, then.
So we need to just question more and like.
Exactly.
Yeah, whether you believe or you don't believe, you have to stay questioning. Don't just take something because.
Because anybody said so.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, you're the first person to make me cry in this series, so.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't be sorry. It's a good thing. So now, does your family know about your beliefs?
Not really. We've not really spoken about it in length. But I spoke to my dad. We don't talk that much. But then I just realized we have this function, this annual Muslim conference that we do, and so it's usually a big family thing. People come from all around Nigeria. It's usually huge, like the Redeem Camp is in Ogun State.
Wow.
So there's this.
Nasfat?
It's not Nasfat. It's Ahmadiyya.
Oh, Ahmadiyya. Sorry.
Yes, Ahmadiyya. So it's like a subsect of Islam. So annually we have that. We tend to like come together, have it. We pray. You just meet like old family and connect. So like he just called me and I'm like, okay, so hope you're not going to make excuses because I missed last year. I hope you're not making excuses to miss this year's. And I'm like, I probably will never make it again. And it was like, why? So I had to like, okay, you have to sit down, let's talk. And so I spoke to him and he said, okay, like you would objectively want to listen to me. And when I was done, he was like, okay, you're grown and you have your life. So when I was an adult, like I wasn't born a Muslim and I chose to be a Muslim. So as long as, and he was like, are you sure? Like, yeah, I'm very sure, like I'm 100% certain.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, that's fine.
That's fantastic. I wish more parents would do that because a lot of people that DM me, hundreds of people DM me when I reached out, and most of them are like, I won't come on camera, my family does not know I'm going to get in trouble. And today, someone I interviewed earlier, Mel, she said, because she also was raised in a Muslim home, she said, if my parents accept me, I'll be very happy. I don't even care if no one else accepts me. So I wish more people could be like your dad, to be honest.
I think it comes from you demanding what you want, because the moment you have this dependency on them, they have this serious power.
They have power over you.
I think once you try to detach yourself a little bit and come from a position where you can okay, this is me, this is my life, and so I think it makes it more easier.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I think independence makes it easier. So now, what's the biggest misconception about your belief?
Okay, this is the interesting part. Most people believe that, or they think that not having or not being accountable to a God, an idea, means you don't have morals, or you probably are boundless, or so they feel automatically like some just tell me, so you're just existing, you don't have purpose, but you're just roaming. And I'm like, no, like I am me. Like, do you notice any difference? I probably am nicer to you now.
Okay.
Like, so like, where is this coming from? So So yeah, that's the major misconception. They just feel like
you're like aimless.
Yeah, like you're aimless down. Yeah.
So now, do you believe in supernatural stuff? Like, do you believe you have a spirit? Do you believe you have a soul?
No.
Okay. So you feel like with a bag, bones, blood, brain, mind.
So yeah, I think we're mind and body.
Mind and body.
Yeah. So a lot of things so it just comes from not just disproving, but from a point of me researching, me trying to know a lot about all these things, and I've always been following my evidence, data, fact, and logic.
Okay.
And most of the time, most things we attach spirituality to, we attach higher power to, are the things that we don't really understand.
That is true.
And if you look closely, you would understand. Then once you understand, you have the power. That's where knowledge is power. Then you'll be able to control these things. So
I like that.
That is where I've come from. So for me, most of the things people have attached spirituality to, I've been logically able to understand and reenact it myself.
Okay. So obviously, I know that. Okay, I know you're someone you read and you understand and you learn. But obviously, you don't know anything. When you get to those crossroads, where you're like, I don't have an answer for this. Where do you go from there? How do you navigate?
Okay, so I like reading, and I'm always on YouTube.
YouTube. Okay. I hope you're subscribed to my channel, but anyway.
I will.
Okay, good.
So I read. So I think sometimes when you search for something, the way the data and the internet works, they just keep bringing stuff
more to you. Oh yeah.
So from there, I learned a lot from from mystics, from people that from that ancient knowledge about life and all that. So I've kind of listened to like different points of from scientific to mysticism to Hindu and everything, and I kind of saw the connection between everything and I aggregated it. And so for me, I usually just like listen. I listen to like basically everybody. I take it in and I start dissecting myself logically with evidence and data.
Oh, cool. That's nice. So now, what would you like to tell people about your type of belief? Like if someone meets you or another irreligious person, like what would you want to tell them about your belief?
Okay, so I think the easiest thing for me, or one of the best thing that has happened since when I found this, is the fact that I've understood more about my body and my mind in connection with everything that exists. Like, so for me, like this chair is kind of alive.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's not just a chair, like, and it can react to once you interact with some other elements, it reacts to it, and so we're just part of like a bigger space.
Wow.
So so for me, it's so having this type of knowledge or this type of seeing things this way makes you feel more, makes you love more, makes you have more empathy.
Okay.
Because if you understand the you know the principle of cause and effect, and you know like love breeds love.
Yeah.
If I hit you, you hit me back, then we keep going from there.
True.
It's terrible. So if you understand these things, start like before I act. So because of that, like, I've been able to understand how my mind works with my body. Most of the emotions I feel, they come from here. So I've been depressed for a long time. This thing has made me understand, like almost like I've cured it.
Wow.
You understand? Because depression comes from a terrible past, terrible knowledge. You understand? So sometimes when you linger on it, it keeps going, and the way the mind and the body works, brains are made up of different chemicals, and your thought process, whatever you feel, that's what sends it down to your body. Understand? So half the time we are a result of our thoughts.
That is true.
And our environment. So like it's deep. I don't want to go into it.
I feel you.
So basically I've understood, and it's so practical for me. Like
you.
I do it, and the people around me that choose to listen. Like so I've not used drugs in like a year.
Wow.
Like I understand when I'm feeling a certain type of way, I know why, so I can easily like it's not like you are zen and everything is perfect, but then it's about consciously, like per second, like
that's
paying attention to things.
So would you say, since you don't believe in spirit, usually I ask people here, so have you found your spirit's home? Do you think you found your peace of mind?
I have.
Fantastic. Mind blown. This is so exciting. Wow. Thank you, Dammy, for doing this. I really appreciate it. This was very enlightening. You know, everything you had to say, just, I'm not irreligious, but I feel you. I feel you completely, and I appreciate what you've done today. And, you know, do you want to tell people where they can like follow you, see more of the stuff you do?
Okay, I'm on social media, the Dammy Lawal.
Okay. I'll write it out. I'll write it out. So
then I think every other thing goes from there.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Dammy. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.